with NAGRA, it's an affair of the heart. And every time we use NAGRA equipment, we've never had a reliability issue. My name's Mike Valentine from Chasing the Dragon, and I had the pleasure with my wife, Francoise, of being invited by NAGRA to Munich 2022 to give a little talk all about the recordings that we make and the history and the technical aspects of the recording. So it's been a wonderful opportunity to come here and actually be with an audience listening to music on such a fantastic system. Because NAGRA obviously made one of the world's most famous tape recorders, the NAGRA 4, the S version, which is a stereo version here. So we brought some of our presentation on tape, and we brought our records as well. The records are direct cut. This means that the music, the signal, is sent from the Neve recording desk at Air Studios in London up 2 floors to the cutting lathe, where it is cut directly onto the vinyl. That means that there is no digital recorder or editing, no audio recorder, and the cutting lathe is in effect the recorder. The disadvantage is that you can only play it once and record live from the beginning, middle and end with no stopping. But what does that mean? It means that the orchestra or the musicians, they know they have to perform live all the way through. And the jump factor really is wonderful. And when people are listening, there may be a step closer to live people playing for them, because most music is designed for people to be playing all of their instruments. So to have that opportunity of playing things like España, which is our classical music, a tribute to Spain, where we played Habanera. We also played a jazz recording with sort of piano, bass and drums with a trumpet, A Day in the Life, which was a really fantastic jazz recording that we were lucky enough to be able to make. And on tape, we played some of our earlier recordings where we would put a cello in the church, record the cello, and then take the cello outside and record with exactly the same microphones and distance, so that people can hear on the record what are the differences with the acoustics themselves? Because this is the most important thing, mainly with classical music. Hundreds of years ago, the public, the people, would maybe hear the music in a church, in this great reverberant space. So to record in a church, the classical music, this is a wonderful thing. String quartets, we've recorded in Venice, where we use, in effect, it's like a piece of equipment. The acoustics of the church are a piece of equipment that we can use in the recording. If you record in the studio, yes, you don't hear the ambulances going past, but you have to add reverberation or echo, and it can be a little false. So we try to record live if we can. Talking of recording and NAGRA, my relationship with NAGRA goes back to 1972 when I joined the BBC, and I was using a NAGRA 3, the predecessor to the 4, mono, to record sound effects for Doctor Who, so that we could have all these strange sound effects, and that was one of my jobs in the BBC. So it was wonderful to have a relationship with NAGRA equipment professionally in the BBC. And also, once I left the BBC and went into the feature film world, where I became an underwater cameraman working on all the James Bond films, a strange change, but we still had our roots in sound. So my first purchase when we started our little label 10 years ago was a NAGRA 6. Now that is a multi-track digital recorder, but the advantage of this machine is that on location you can record the microphones separately and then go to the studio to do a mix down. The problem is, if you do the mix on location, you're already making a decision which might not be the best decision in the middle of the recording. So to use the NAGRA 6, even when we're doing the direct cut recordings in the studio, every one of our recordings we use the NAGRA 6, from which we take the master files mixed down to create the CDs and also the downloads at 24192 and 1644. You know, a lot of people, when they buy hi-fi equipment, they're looking at the cost of it, what it does, what it looks like. I have to, as a producer and an engineer, have to use the R word, which is reliability. And every time we use NAGRA equipment, we've never had a reliability issue. So you can imagine, you go halfway around the world with your recording equipment, oh, the recorder's not working. That's always what I think of with NAGRA, is reliability, the quality. And, you know, a company like NAGRA, they seem to work as if all of their work, you know, other recording equipment manufacturers, it's an affair of the head. But with NAGRA, it's an affair of the heart. Music in our lives is so important. Before we started Chasing the Dragon, my wife Francoise and I were on holiday in Venice. And as we walked around, we could hear this amazing Vivaldi coming from a church. So we went in, we heard a really good orchestra playing Vivaldi, possibly where Vivaldi himself was playing hundreds of years ago. So we went to the orchestra when they finished playing and we said, could we come and record you? And they said, well, no video. I said, no, a sound recording. And they went, oh, okay. I did a quick sound recording of them. They said, listening on their headphones, oh, this is great. Can you come to a monastery for 2 weeks to record 2 CDs for our own record label? So we said, oh, I don't know. Television at the moment is really good. I don't think I want to leave my couch. I said, yes. So we went to the monastery. And that's where I used the opportunity of going back to the 60s and used 3 Neumann M50 microphones in a Decca tree. And that's how we started our recording, because people were saying, this is great, you've got to start releasing this to the public. And that's how it all started. Music drew us in, and all we've done at Chasing the Dragon is to try and record as many musical moments as possible to share them with the public.